Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. All right, good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are going to celebrate the holiday of Tu Bishvat. I figured maybe we'll deviate a little bit from the mishnayot to talk a little bit about the holiday. But to truth be told, it's hard to find much written about Tu Bishvat in the earlier books. Of course, the mention of it is in the mishnayot. First Mishnah of Masechet Rosh Hashanah talks about the new year for the trees. Contrary to what people think, the trees are not judged on Tu Bishvat, just like human beings are judged on our Rosh Hashanah, on the first of Tishrei. The trees are not judged on Tu Bishvat or the first of Shvat, according to Bet Shammai. The trees are actually judged on the holiday of Shavuot. The meaning of the Mishnah of Tu Bishvat, or the significance of the day, is on how we measure, how we count the birthday of the tree in order to determine when to tithe the fruits that bear from the tree, and also to allow us to understand, to realize when we can keep the fruits of the tree, because the first 3 years the fruits don't belong to us. The fourth year we bring it to Yerushalayim. So all that is calculated based on the 15th of Shevat. And what's interesting is that you open up the Rambam, and the Rambam doesn't talk about Tu Bishvat. A thousand years ago, he brings it down in the laws of Maaser, of tithing fruits. That, like I said, that's the halachic implications of Tu Bishvat. But there's no discussion about what we're going to do in another hour or so. So you fast forward 500 years, and you open up the Shulhan Aruch, Rabbi Yosef Karo, and guess what? He doesn't write about it either. All right, so you follow the whole order, about Sukkot. After Sukkot, you got Hanukkah, and what should be after Hanukkah is a discussion of Tu Bishvat, but no, right after that he goes into the laws of the 4 parashiot and Megillah, which is Purim. So Tu Bishvat is skipped. So why is this the case? Why wasn't it codified somewhat in halacha? So I have an answer that is my own, but I believe there's some significance to it. The halacha was written for the klal. The halacha, when we read a Shulhan Aruch, it's for all of Klal Yisrael. There's different customs, no question, right? You have Shulhan Aruch, Ramah, Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, and we have Minhagim as well. But for the most part, when you have a set of Sfarim like the Shulchan Aruch or the Rambam, it's meant for all of Klal Yisrael. The deeper significance of Tu Bishvat is really for the individual. Ki Adam etz hasadeh. Torah tells us in Sefer Bereshit that man is really like a tree in many, many different ways. And Tu Bishvat is a time for introspection. It's like almost like a Rosh Hashanah, just like we introspect during our own month of Elul and come the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, but as well, there is that time, I'll speak about more at length at tonight's Seder, but it's a time where we have to focus on a little bit on the individual, because every person is different. Every person needs to work on different aspects of their life versus that of the whole cloud. Ki Adam etz hasadeh. Man is one tree. Tzetzim, he's one. And we're a nation of 600,000 souls, or 600,000 trees that branch out and have branched out and branched out. So to codify something in Shulchan Aruch for the klal would be improper. So where does in fact, when you look at the history of the Seder of Tu Bishvat, where did it start? Where did it start? If it's not spoken about in Shulhan Aruch, then when did it start? The truth is, it started roughly around that time. The Mekubalim of Sfat, it was a great city known for Mekubalim, Sfat Ira Kodesh, where the Shulhan Aruch actually lived, and he lived at that time of the Mekubalim and the Arizal. They instituted a Seder of Tu Bishvat that focuses on Tikkun Olam, that focuses on the rectification of the world, and how each man has to, again, rectify himself, and all based on the fact that the first tree, there was a pagam, there was damage to that tree when Adam ate from the tree. It's all really all connected, and therefore we go through Tu Bishvat eating different fruits representing different traits, different ideas, different sfirot, all things connected, in order to perform that tikkun. And this is where it came about. This is where the Seder comes from. Now, even with that, the Seder didn't really become popular. It didn't really become popular until the last, I would say, 100 or so years, where Tu Bishvat was widely celebrated in the way that it's now. And I don't know so much of the Seder. I know a lot of the Sfaradim focus on the Seder, but in general, most people just sit around eating some fruits and maybe saying some Shechayanus or whatever like that. And this idea, this whole family gathering of Tu Bishvat, really only took off from the beginning of the 1900s. And the reason that's the case is because of an organization called JNF, the Jewish National Fund, whose whole mission was about the land of Israel and trees and agriculture. And then all of a sudden, you have not just the observant Jews who are following the Seder, but you have a lot of even non-observant Jews who feel, wow, this is something important. All the naturalists out there, all the people that love and enjoy nature. And Tu Bishvat really took off to be a very, very widely celebrated holiday for that reason. And that's really what we have today, is Tu Bishvat all over. In all types of congregations, Jewish congregations around the world, is celebrated, each in their own different way. But let's not lose the focus of what we're supposed to do tonight. Tonight is about our individual tree. And throughout Scripture, throughout the Mishnah and the Gemara, we always find these references to man and the tree. David HaMelech in Sefer Tehillim, right in the beginning, tells us "Ve'aya ke'et shatul al pal gemaim," that we have to be like a tree that is trenched. Our roots are trenched in the water. And the water is referencing to the Torah, that a person needs to have all of his roots firmly deep in the ground, and that comes with Torah. And Pirke Avot talks about it. In fact, when in the third parak, the famous Mishnah of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Imen Kemach and Torah, and then he says, Hu haya omer kosher chokhmato meruba mima'asav lema hu domeh. And he says, any person whose wisdom outweighs his deeds, what is he compared to? Le'ilan, to a tree, she'anafav merubin, he has a lot of branches, meaning his mind, he's got a lot of knowledge. V'sharashav mu'atin, but his roots are very, very small and they're very weak, because he hasn't done anything with that knowledge. Again, we'll speak about the whole koach of da'at later on this evening, B'ezrat Hashem. So maybe this will be part one of the Tu Bishvat talk. And then what happens to that man? Ruach ba'a be'okarto ve'ofachto apanav. Yeah, one wind, and it doesn't say a ruach she'ena metzuyah, just a regular wind will topple this guy, because he's got no foundation. He hasn't worked on himself, he hasn't rectified himself, he hasn't built himself. Aval, however, kol shema'asav menubin mechokhmato lema hu domeh, but anybody whose deeds outweigh that of his knowledge, meaning, okay, he's not the smartest guy in the world, but whatever he knows, he acts on it, and he makes a difference in the world. What is he compared to? La'ilan shanafav mu'atin ve'sharashav mu'abin merubin. To a tree where, he doesn't have many branches. There's not much knowledge on the top that's spreading up. But nevertheless, now you're talking about all the winds of the world that come and blow on him. Can't move him. Okay, he knows what's his. He knows what's right. As long as you stand firm in your commitment to Torah mitzvot, nothing can move you. Nothing can deviate you from the proper path. And the moment that you do that, unfortunately, then you risk everything that you have. The moment when you pop your head out of the ground and start looking around, what's this? What's the world about? And again, facing away from your goal and your mission, then it's bad news. As a Mishnah in the same chapter, Mishnah Zayin, Rabbi Elazar Ishbartota says, in the name of Rabbi Shimon, I'm sorry, he says, Hamhalech baderech veshoneh, someone who's sitting and he's learning, meaning he's got himself rooted. He's in the water. Everything is good. But all of a sudden, mafsik mi mishnato. Now he pauses. Ve'omer, ma na'eh ilanze. Now he starts looking at the physical. He no longer cares about the roots. He looks only about what's above. Oh, what a beautiful tree. Ma na'eh nirze, ma'ale ala katuv ki'ilu mitchayev benafsho. Mitchayev benafsho. It says that you're risking your life. You're risking your life. And these are the words of Rabbi Shimon. So, as we go through tonight, and we're, the sun is down, which means it's Tu Bishvat, and we're going to celebrate. It's something to think about. The purpose of the holiday. It's not sourced in Shulhan Aruch, because this is something for ourselves, for our individual self. And each person is different. Each person has what to work on. Each person has where there are lacks in Torah and mitzvot. No one's perfect. And if we focus on where our flaws are and how to rectify and fix it, then this tree will not only continue to root below, but it will even sprout further where our influence reaches the whole Jewish nation worldwide. So we'll continue Bezrat Hashem tonight. I hope you can join us on the Tu Bishvat Seder.